When you're standing in front of the TV aisle, it's easy to feel like you're about to sign a lease on a piece of wall space rather than just picking a screen. The big question is whether you'll actually get more enjoyment out of that extra size and all the marketed tech, or if you'll end up with a picture that looks great on paper but feels underused in a real living room. This review is meant to cut through the hype and help you figure out if the Samsung 65-inch Neo QLED from the 2026 lineup really delivers on the promises of brighter highlights, richer colors, and AI-driven upscaling, or if you'd be better off with a smaller or different model. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's put the Neo QLED technology into perspective. Samsung's Quantum Mini LED backlight divides the illumination into thousands of tiny dimmable zones, which in theory lets the screen produce deeper blacks and boost peak brightness without blooming. In a typical family room that gets a mix of natural light in the day and dimmed lighting at night, that kind of control can actually make a difference when you're watching HDR movies. I've seen a few people on forums note that the contrast feels more cinematic on similar mini LED units, and that's a realistic benefit you'll notice with the 65-inch model provided you have the room to sit back far enough away. If you're planning to mount this on a wall that's only a few feet from the couch, you might start to see the edges of the screen or notice slight glare from nearby windows, which can diminish that premium feel. The TV's NQ4 AI processor is Samsung's latest attempt at using machine learning to handle everything from upscaling lower resolution content to adjusting color balance on the fly. In practice, the upscaling works well enough that old 1080p Blu-rays look sharper on the 4K panel, but it isn't a miracle. I tested a 720p sports clip on a similar model and the processor did a decent job of smoothing out the image, but fast-moving scenes still showed some softness around the edges. For most streaming content Netflix, Disney+, or YouTube 4K this isn't a deal-breaker, but if you're a serious gamer or a dedicated 4K content creator who expects pixel-perfect fidelity, you may find the AI-boosted upscaling a bit of a compromise. One of the real-world strengths of this TV is its integration with voice assistants. Alexa is built right in, so you can dim the lights, change the channel, or pull up a recipe without touching the remote. I tried turning the picture mode from standard to gaming using only voice commands, and the TV responded within a second. That convenience factor can be a genuine daily time saver, especially if you already have other smart home devices. However, the remote itself is a bit of a mixed bag. It's sleek but lacks dedicated buttons for popular streaming apps, meaning you'll spend a few extra taps navigating menus, which can be mildly frustrating for people who just want to press play on Netflix. Now, let's talk about the brightness and color delivery that Samsung touts with its 100% color volume and quantum dot layer. In a well-lit room, the TV pushes a good amount of nits, enough to make HDR10 plus titles pop without looking washed out. The Color Booster Pro feature, which essentially amplifies the saturation of specific hues, is most noticeable in nature documentaries. Think vibrant blue oceans and rich green jungles. If your typical viewing habit includes a lot of color-intensive content, you'll likely appreciate that extra punch. On the flip side, the same boost can become a bit aggressive if you watch a lot of sitcoms or news programs that aren't mastered for HDR. Skin tones can sometimes appear slightly too warm, and you'll have to dial back the setting manually. Who should buy this 65-inch Neo QLED? It makes sense for households that already have a dedicated media room or a large living area where a 65-inch screen doesn't dominate the space. If you enjoy movie nights, binge-watching high-budget series, or regularly use the TV for gaming on consoles that support 4K HDR, the combination of mini LED backlighting and the AI processor offers a noticeable upgrade over standard LED TVs at a similar price point. It also appeals to people who are already in the Samsung ecosystem and want seamless integration with Samsung smartphones, SmartThings, or the brand soundbars. Who might skip it? If your budget is tight and you're eyeing a TV primarily for casual TV watching or background use, the premium price of the Neo QLED could feel unjustified. Smaller apartments, rooms with limited viewing distance, or anyone who doesn't need the advanced HDR performance should consider a more modest 4K LED model. Additionally, users who are very particular about absolute color accuracy for professional work like video editing or graphic design might want to look at a monitor-grade panel, since the AI enhancements can sometimes alter the intended hue. From a practical perspective, the installation experience is fairly straightforward. The TV comes with